In the depths of darkness, something sinister stirred. Meet Gary, a shapeshifter from the ancient race of Zinks. They were once proud beings, but now they're just forgotten relics of a lost era. Gary, however, is still here, clinging to existence and finding joy in chaos, in the terror he brings to an unsuspecting world. The world may have changed, but Gary's twisted spirit thrives in the shadows, always ready to unleash new waves of horror. Gary's existence is a cruel joke. His days start in a decaying apartment, a tomb filled with forgotten memories. Shadows dance on cracked walls, whispering secrets of when the Zinks ruled the night. But now, Gary is alone. The weight of centuries presses down on him, constantly reminding him of his lost grandeur. With a sickening crunch of bone and flesh, Gary transforms. Now he's a rabid dog, eyes gleaming with malice. His target, Mrs. Wicker, the neighborhood's most despised gossip. Gary knows her routine by heart, waiting for the perfect moment. As she steps out with her handbag clutched tightly, Gary springs from the shadows. A blur of teeth and fur, he snatches her purse, her screams echoing through the street. Moments later, a teenage boy with a wicked grin disappears into the crowd. Gary revels in the chaos he creates. Every scream, every gasp of horror feeds his dark soul. He's a phantom, slipping through reality, leaving a trail of dread in his wake. Gary's eyes fall on innocent kids, their laughter music to his twisted soul. With a grotesque contortion, he becomes a menacing police officer, voice dripping with venom. "Hey, you kids, get out of here!" The children scatter, their joy replaced with terror. The park, once filled with laughter, now echoes with fleeing footsteps and frightened cries. Watching them go, a cruel smile plays on Gary's lips. He relishes the power he holds over these fragile beings. His heart, if he still had one, beats with dark satisfaction. At the diner on Elm Street, Gary, disguised as a frail old man, sips his coffee, eavesdropping on hushed conversations. Whispers of a mysterious prankster causing mayhem circulate. A cold smile spreads across his withered face. They have no idea who they're dealing with. He chuckles softly, the sound lost in the clatter of dishes and hum of conversation. As a sleek black cat, Gary infiltrates a construction site. He slinks through the shadows, eyes gleaming with mischief. Tools clatter, workers curse as chaos erupts. A monstrous crane sways precariously before crashing down with a deafening roar. Amidst the chaos, Gary shifts into a bird, soaring high above, watching the pandemonium below. His heart races with exhilaration, the thrill of the hunt coursing through his veins. From his vantage point, he observes the havoc he has wrought. Workers scramble, shouting in confusion and fear. Gary's silent, unseen laughter fills the air. Now a compassionate nurse, Gary moves through the sterile halls of the hospital. He administers medication to a patient, his touch gentle and reassuring. But behind those kind eyes lies a predator, biding his time. A flicker of doubt crosses his eyes, but it's quickly extinguished. This is his purpose, his twisted destiny. As the heart monitor flatlines, a gasp of horror escapes the patient's loved ones. Gary's expression remains serene, but inside he's laughing. The hospital is a labyrinth of pain and suffering, a perfect hunting ground for a creature like Gary. He thrives on the despair that permeates the air, each pulse of agony feeding his insatiable hunger for chaos. As a grieving widow, Gary weeps over a freshly dug grave. His tears aren't of sorrow, but twisted satisfaction. Another life extinguished, another soul tormented. The cemetery is quiet. The only sounds the rustling leaves and the occasional cry of a distant bird. Gary's sobs morph into maniacal laughter, echoing off the tombstones and fading into the night. Standing up, his form shifts once more. The grieving widow dissolves into a sinister figure cloaked in shadows. The cemetery, a place of rest for the dead, has become a playground for the living nightmare that is Gary. As the rain pours down, Gary stands by the window of his apartment, watching the city lights reflect in the puddles below. His true form, a grotesque mix of all the disguises he has worn, stares back at him. Hollow eyes, filled with centuries of torment and darkness, promise an eternity of terror. Gary's reign of terror continues. He could be anyone, anywhere. The shadows are his domain, and every day a new nightmare unfolds. So remember, the next time you encounter a stranger, Look deep into their eyes. You never know what evil lurks beneath the surface.